This is a Tactical Genius production. Welcome to Virtual Pool 4 Online.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else. No.
trouble with Scotland is that it's full of Scots.
Well, good afternoon and good evening to Bill. Good evening to Cobra. Well, Tommy's just arrived in the lobby and there's no sign of Bankster. So, according to what Steve was saying, there's been a bit of to-ing and fro-ing, but most of it, I think, has been from Tommy trying to get this match arranged on the one-loss side. This is a match that's holding up the tournament on the one-loss side. And I think the deadline was either today or tomorrow. They've got it arranged for the top of the hour. We are 4.5 minutes away from the top of the hour, and here's hoping Bankster turns up. Well, we had a great match last night between LS3 and Bedhead. LS3 controlled the match for the most part, had a good lead until Bedhead finally got things going for him. Broken rang 3 racks to get himself back within 1. But LS3 managed to hold it together, finished off strong enough, and won out by 13 racks to 10 in the end. This match that we are hoping to be watching is the match between Bankster, who supposedly hails from Kuwait, and Tommy from Germany, and the winner of this match, or whoever gets advanced, depending on what happens, is going to be playing Stubb, and then lying in wait for the winner of that match is Larry. Now, the deadline for the match between Stubb and whoever wins this match tonight is August the 7th, so time is marching on. So we're already into the 1st of August, so there's 6 days left to get the Stubb match played as well. So depends how long Stubb hangs about before getting things together, but we need to get this one done first. And of course, the LS3 is now through, and she's waiting on the loser of the match that we have on Friday between Cobra and Machine. And that's basically where we are. So nothing really can happen on the top end of this one-loss side until this match gets done tonight, and then the next match with Stubb. So that is where we've got to. Checking the lobby. Well, we've got, 2.5 minutes to go, and there is still no evidence of Bankster appearing, so it could be short and sweet. It could be all over before it's begun. Oh, well, you can. I mean, if there is a match, you can always watch the replay anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a Thai meal at the moment. I've still to get my dinner. Oh, well, Bankster's arrived. That's the good news. So we do have a match. He's in. He's not going to get much practice, so I think he's just went to away mode. Looking at it. Yeah, so we're all set to go. I'll get my reserve bottle of water opened. I don't think Steve's planning to join us. He's not messaged me or anything, so it'll just be me making all the mistakes. So, well, Tommy should be the favourite, but as we see, if you apply yourself and play sensibly, you can get racks in this game, no doubt about it. But it's down to who's going to make the most mistakes, and again, you'd probably say Bankster on paper would be the one that would be missing more balls or not getting as good a shape. So the odds are reasonably favouring Tommy for this. I think that's probably what most of us would agree. but we'll see. I don't think many people at the beginning of this tournament were giving LS3 a lot of hope to go deep into the tournament, but she's still there, and she's taken out some scalps to get there, and she's going to have to keep doing that because it doesn't get any easier. But she's played well and deserves the run that she's had, no doubt about it. Good evening to Parliament. Oh, where the hell's he falling out? He's falling out the woodwork. Welcome anyway for the 5 minutes that you're going to stay here. Right, the room is up. Let's get in. And my stream clock isn't working. Hang on a minute. There we go, it's working now. So Tommy's in, Bankster will get the alert, and here we go. Bankster's arrived. Now I think what we decided last night was that the player in the top of the HUD is on the right of the screen. I think that's what Steve said. Now, that lag on the left is pretty poor. It doesn't take a lot to beat that, so we're assuming that Bankster has won the lag. Yes, he has. So race to 13, and Bankster has, well, that's it. I haven't seen anybody else do that in any of my streams, but Bankster decided to pass the break, and Tommyy is breaking second ball and has broke dry, and these balls are actually split. They're split pretty nicely. I mean, they've all got gaps. Some are covering one another, but other than that, the first thing you're looking for is where's the first cribbage going to be. Well, we've got a little dodgy cut in the 10. The problem being is the cue ball's running down this direction, and you're trying to hold for the 5. What else have we got? Well, we've got probably a simpler 12-3. You cut the 12, run the cue ball in the gap, and you've got the 3 ball. We've got 14-1. Now this is 2 straight, but if he's going to run through for the 12, then he has to make sure he gets the gap between the 15 and the 11 to get on that 3. He doesn't want to be bumping into that 15, and the other issue being that he can only either go forward or back. There's not a lot he can do with this cue ball, so he's just killing it. And he hasn't come back far enough again to make this comfortable to roll the 10 in and get on that 5. He's not in the right line. Now he's trying to stun this down with left English to punch it over this way. He could end up hooking himself. You know, if he cuts that in, hits the rail with the English, he'll go that direction, but there's no guarantee he'd get on it. I think he's looking at what looks to be the simpler option. Just has to get in the gap and has to nudge the 9, and he hasn't. So the positional error from Bankster has got him in trouble straight away here. Welcome to here, Pig. 12-3 to start. What does that mean? What does 12-3 to start mean? Because it's a race to 13 if you're talking about the score. I don't know what that means. Oh, did you pass the break, Cobra? I never noticed that, and I was watching it. So, Bankster concedes the table to Tommyy, and Tommy's off and running with the 8 and the 7. And the 12 and the 3 aren't going to be that difficult. The 12's the problem ball to get on it. And now I don't know Presumably he's just trying to come back off this 10, and he has to come back far enough just to get that gap. And now again he's a bit straight. He can try and just stun in between the 9 and 6. Well, he's going inside, he's going top side to get on the 9. And I think he's, in fact, tell a lie, that's the 13. My eyes have completely gone. And we're only 2 minutes into the game. See, from here, against that blue, that looks yellow to me. So it does. I think it'd be better if it was a different coloured cloth. I'd be able to see things better. So the 12 companion ball gives Tommyy his third cribbage. And the 11 and 4. Again, the problem with the 11 ball is that the 11's only going in one pocket in the top end of the table. So 13-2. Now he's got, what's he doing? Is he stunning? Is he coming back the way? Yes, he is. That's perfect. So he should be out, shouldn't he? That takes him to 4. Now, here is where he's got loads of room to get on the 9. I think he's got enough angle to work with. There shouldn't be a problem. So he's looking at this gap here. From what I can tell, well, he's just drawn straight back. See, the danger with that shot is, that shot he's just played there, the danger with that is he could have run into that 4 and had no shot. I would have played to the rail because the gap's big enough to get through, but he's got away with it. And so that chance that Bankster had, it came and went so quickly, but where he failed was the positional shot. And that's a 3 ball going in. Where's the 12? The 12's right in front of the cue ball coming towards us. And I don't think it's got a pocket. Well, it does. It goes into the side. And it goes into the top pocket past the 8 ball. So he's got 2 choices where he wants to have a go at this. And I'm looking around to see what else there is. There's not an awful lot else on. Obviously there's a 7 and 8. And that is about it. And that's well off the line. And with that companion ball getting spotted, or the first ball getting spotted, the 3 ball, now the 7's tight. So the chances are that Bankster will take ball in hand for the 9 and the 6. That looks simple enough to get to. Or he's drawn back off the 7 and 8, so I mean, he should just be getting a slight angle in this 8 ball and coming back. See, he's left himself an angle that is not the best of angles in the 7 because he's heading towards the 3 and whatever else is there, 3 and 12. Now that angle in the 3 is better because he can just drop through for the 12. Unless he wants to run up the table and take this 12 into the corner. I don't know really what he's trying to do here. Just trying to leave it in the side. Again, it's a bit of a cut. Now, he's not going to hit the 5, but where he is going, he's coming over here for not a lot else on. 15 balls in the rail, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I wouldn't waste your time, Polly. You don't play. You play even less than I do. Oh, and I've just read that as well, Cobra. You ran out both times on their break. So Bankster, well, I mean, this is just a hit and hope, and he's got lucky. He's got lucky, but he doesn't want to be playing too many of them kind of shots because that's doomed to failure over the distance. And, well, what does he do now? Does he play for the 10-5, which is in the open? Or does he play a 14-1 combo? And again, let's have a wee look. See, this is neither good nor bad where he's sitting. I mean, obviously he's got loads of room to move the cue ball. But it's not comfortable. And not getting good shape. The end result is discomfort and a lot of shots. Now he's putting loads of right on it to go around 2 rails. And that's better. He's found a gap. But now he has to stop and think. Now all you do is roll the 10 in and you've got the 9 into the side. So there's nothing fancy needing done here. You just roll the 10 in, or you even end up the 9 up the table. And that'll do it. Now again, you got to make your mind up. Are you going to roll through dead weight for the 6 into that side, or are you going to roll through long and play it safer and try and leave yourself a longer shot in the 6 to open up the angle in case you chicken out? Well, he's drawing back. And again, it's to me, I don't know why he didn't just roll through. I mean, he's drawn back and now he's in. This 6 ball is over the halfway line here. But this for the rack. So he's got there in the end. So 1 rack all. And Tommy's breaking just on the left side of the head ball. And it's dry again. Now, is that the 4 ball that's over the pocket? That's the 4. So the handy thing with that is he can play a delicate little bump down the rail, just so that he nudges that 4 in right on the inside. That way that 11 ball will stay there. He doesn't want to be cutting the 11 so it's hitting the 4 and going that way. And that's perfect. That's exactly how he had to play it, because that way you know the 11 ball's going to stay there. Now, again, it's just about finding the path. Now, I don't know whether he wants to check this with a bit of right, just to make sure he comes through the gap between the 6 and the 13. Yes, he has. He's checked it up. Again, that is proof that, you know, Tommy's got an idea of what he's doing. And that way, he made sure that the cue ball, the line of it was deflected into a straighter line rather than the natural angle it would come off that rail. That way he knows he's going to go through the gap. Now where does he go next? Now this is once again sort of in the middle of no man's land, because the 1's obviously cuts in the side, but he's now dodgy on every ball here in terms of getting to the partner ball. Well, he's got to just get right over to this side to get the 13. Loads of room to get there. 13 ball sitting there. It needs to keep rolling, and it looks good enough. So that takes him to complete his 3rd cribbage. And now what's he doing with the cue ball? Because he doesn't want to just run into them for no apparent reason. I don't know whether he can actually avoid it though. He may well draw into the 8 ball. Nope. He's got a plan, but that's going to be hindered now by the 6 and the angle he's got in the 8. He's going to be running in. He might brush the 3, run into the 9, and it's hard to say how thick he'll hit these balls. Problem is, he's still trying to get a cut in this 8 ball. When he plays this, sorry, not the 8, the 7. Once he plays the 8, let's see where the cue ball ends up. And that's what's caused him to miss the 8. It was not easy. And Bankster, his problem is he can't see the 8. And he's Chinese snookered over the 9 ball, so it couldn't have finished much uglier here for Bankster. And I reckon that, I mean, it's even difficult to make sure you're centering the cue ball on what you can see of that, or the tip of the cue onto the cue ball, so that you don't put any unwanted English on it. You see, that's what made that shot so hard. You know, it was an ugly table for Bankster to be left with. So Tommyy should get this rack in the bag here. That takes him to 4, and then a roll down in the 3 into this bottom left hand corner will give him the lead. Well, Bankster can consider himself a wee bit unlucky with where Tommyy left him. When Tommyy missed, he didn't leave him anything that was easy. Now this also looks dry, but again, it's not the best of breaks, or it's not the best of splits, because you've got the cue ball again in an awkward spot where there's not necessarily an awful lot available here. You know, he can play the 7, but where the hell does he play the 8 ball? So that's no good. He's trying to. Well, he's run into the 2, which has scuppered that plan, because if he'd missed the 2, he'd have been maybe over here by the 13. And these are the standard that Bankster's doing at the moment in terms of getting this cue ball in control are not. They're not likely to keep him in the tournament. You know. So ball in hand now, and again it's still a messy table. Easy 14-1 to start. He might be wanting to just hold the cue ball there. I don't know. To get on this 8, and ideally he wants to be pretty straight in the 8 ball, because he doesn't want to be messing about with any of the other balls. What ball's that at the back there? Let's see what he does. Yeah, he's trying to get. See, again, he's not quite straight on the 8, but I think he's got enough room. But he needs a fair bit of right here, I think, to come off that rail and get out, so he can get onto the. Well, that wouldn't have been the shot I played. I would have went top and right. That way you're going out into an open space and you can go on the 7 easily there. He's run into the 15, and well, this might. I say might cut into the side, but this is a tall order. But it's certainly not going up table, and that's unlucky. But once again, I think Tommyy, had he looked at that, I don't know why he didn't see a line there to take him out into the table. I certainly did. I would never have played that shot. I would have let it run. It's far easier running into the open space rather than trying to mess about with traffic in the way. So Bankster has been reprieved. And with ball in hand, he's looking around here. Now, don't tell me he's going to miscount here. I thought he was looking at the 13. This is going to be ugly unless he's fully aware of what he's on here. Is that dead set? Yes, it is. Dead set combo. Now, why he's played it soft to make sure of the combo, and now again he's on the 10. Again, the problem is the angle's way wrong as far as holding for the 5 goes, unless he wants to try and bump the 15. You know, cut this, bump into that 15 and hold for the 5. It looks as if, I mean, the only thing he doesn't want to do is go in behind the 15. He wants to get, I don't know whether he can get to the rail and bump it. No. Yeah, this is tough. It's not a bank anyway, so he's got to go for the cut. That's well done. Good evening to LS3. Still glowing in victory. She's the VP4 Lioness. So now this should be easy. 312. And again, you want to get reasonably good. Is that the 12 that's up there, or is it my eyes that's going on? This is actually for the cribbage. It is. It's the 15 again. Oh, where's this going? Well, now 9 ball. He's got to play this with a bit of left, and he's got to miss the 4 ball when he does. You don't need to juice it up with loads of left, but you need to make sure you miss the 4. You don't want to just run into the 4 and leave us another awkward cut. And he's overcooked it by the country mile. And again, this is where you get found out. You know, if you're not got that cue ball in a tight string, you're going to end up making things so difficult for yourself, and you're going to keep breaking down, and you're going to keep giving these opportunities away. And the way this table's set, unless he can come up with something, this rack's over. So he's got the bank. His name's Bankster, but I don't know whether hitting it at that pace was giving it every opportunity to take the line and go in. So, Tommyy trailing by 2 cribbages and everything there at his mercy to open up a gap here. And these positional errors by Bankster, I mean, I don't know whether it would have done him any harm to get some practice in before this match started. Try and get the feel of the weight of the shot. Oh, wait a minute. Is that Steve there? Wait to get out of my chair to try and read this. A 9 ball league on Saturdays at 7 o'clock GMT. Well, bear in mind we're on BST at the moment, Steve. So 7 o'clock GMT would be 8 o'clock BST. Because the clocks are forward at the moment, and then they go back in the fall, as they say. Well, this is a rack that's got away here for Bankster. He was in good shape, but then the loss of shape is what cost him. Overhit that last shot he played far too heavily. And this time Tommy's got a couple of balls in the break, but he's looking for the 9 and the 5 as the partner balls, and look at how this has landed. 9 ball right in the middle of the table on a parallel line with the 5, so he's got no problem with the first 2 cribbages. And well, there's also the 7 and out into the table for the 8. And then things are a wee bit awkward after that. Oh well, he's taking the 8 first, then the 7. Welcome to Brainfill Out. I don't see many volunteers jumping out their seats for this league on Friday night, Saturday night. Well, I'm off the next 3 days. I'm off today. Sorry, I finished today, and I don't go in tomorrow, Wednesday or Thursday. I'm back on Friday. So this is going to be the 4th cribbage, and because he's stuck to the rail, he can only go forward. And I think he's taking his eye off the ball there, thinking about where the cue ball was going. And Bankster's been handed a gift of an opportunity here. And this is where, the balls are all wide open. And so if you've got any weakness with your control of that cue ball, this is where you get found out. This is a perfect example to anybody where the balls are all there. There's not a problem. The problem will occur when you don't have that cue ball in the right spot and you can't get there. Now, he should be thinking a couple of shots ahead here, because when he plays this 4 ball, the easiest option would be the 12 and 3 to follow, because the 12's up at the top end. But he doesn't want to leave some sort of awkward angle. Let's have a look. Well, he's got enough. He doesn't need to do anything fancy. This just needs to get knocked in and the cue ball come that direction. So he doesn't need to juice it up with any fancy English. Just get it out into the table. He's putting top on this, and he doesn't really need it, I don't think. And you see, he's a bit nervy. I mean, he's missed a sitter of a 12 ball. And again, I think he's overthought that shot. Even a simple shot like that, he's overthought it. When the 3 ball's wide open, and all you need to do is just relax and play the ball and let the cue ball do its thing, and you're on the 3. So this is not a good sign for Bankster. What many in the US have Saturday off. Well, I think the first thing you want to do, Steve, is get some sort of notification up. to try and generate interest. You know, because not everybody in VP4 pays any attention to my streams. This is not the best way to let everybody know about it. There's only probably 4 people watching this stream, so it's probably better having a notice in the lobby. That would be my suggestion. Well, Tommy, again, having got the 4-1 lead now, has let Bankster back in. And again, Bankster's got problems because he's going to have to work things here. And Bankster's weakness is dealing with this situation. I mean, it's not pretty, let's be honest. So he's got an easy 6 and 9. Now, this is where when you're struggling to get that cue ball under control, you probably should have more emphasis on exactly what you're going about here. So you see again, he's gone inside the 9 here. Now he's got to decide whether he's holding for that 14 or he's trying to stun out or do something crazy to get on this 1 ball, because the angle's not great. And let's have a look. He would have ideally wanted to just come back for that 14, and the 1's wide open. And once again, he's way too heavy. I do believe he played for the 14. There's no way he's played for anything else. And he's juicing it up far too much with the spin. He hasn't worked on that stun draw control that you need. He's going too low in the cue ball. And, well, this isn't, I don't believe this is what he played for. But he's got the 13 too. And again, this cue ball has got to be hitting the 3 ball in some sort of way. But it might just hit it a thin clip, so he wants to hit this enough so it comes back out into the table. He's got to get this punched in a wee bit. He wants to get it out here. Well, he's got the spin off it. It's went to the rail, ran into the 10. And now he's got no option, I don't think. Well, what else have we got? Is he trying to... He's looked at the 3. There's no way he should be potting the 3 and trying to hope for the 12. And, well, he's managed to do it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And that's going to take him to his 3rd cribbage. And remember, that 14-1's still sitting there. So now, let's see what he does with this cue ball. I don't know whether you're going to try and roll through far enough for this 14 into the side. Now he's drawing back. Well, again, I'm a wee bit puzzled. I'm presume he played for the 8. But now, well, again, I don't know what he's thinking here. Why is he not taking the 8 and going around and out into the open for the 7? And again, well, he's got on the 14, but the problem is he's not got a pocket. And I don't know why he didn't take the 8. Why he didn't take the 8 and come out for this 7 into the side, I don't know. He's trying to play spectacular positional shots here, and this ain't going to work. And this, when you've got, I think the last rack he had 3 cribbages on the board as well, ended up losing it. Yeah. Well, I think the way Bankster's going, I think this will be his last match in the tournament, because he's not keeping it simple enough. Again, know your limitations and play within them. I don't know why he didn't play the 8, because the 8 looked more realistically giving him a chance to get on the 7. And he's starting, drawing balls and really hoping to get a shot, and that doesn't win you. That doesn't win you matches in this tournament. It ain't going to happen. Well, this is it. I mean, LS3. This is the busiest time for VP4, because peak time, US time, is obviously East Coast time or mainly Pacific time, but there's never a great deal of many people on in those times. You might be getting 20 odd people, whereas at this time of night we're more than likely to have like double that on the European side, that is. Well, I would play in the league anyway, as long as it doesn't run too late. Because again, I'm up early for Sunday morning. Well, this is going to hurt Bankster. It's now going to be 5-1. So, ball in the break was the 3. He's got the cut in the 12. Now, does he want to try and bump into that 4 and get lucky and hold for the 7? Well, he's maybe had that idea in mind, but he's forgotten about the 12. So, Bankster's getting opportunities here, but where he's failing is in the positional play, which is letting him down, and why he's not been able to string cribbages together to win these racks with the chances that he's had, and that's a big no-no, I'm afraid. And he's got another chance to prove me wrong here, and obviously can't play any of these balls that are in the kitchen. So he's trying to stun this one ball in and come out for the 14. Now, the 13 ball is up there again. When he pots this 14, he could run into the 9, what looks like the 9 and the 11 up there, and if he does that, he'll hold for the 2, and there's a fair chance he'll then obviously have the 13 to follow it. Let's see what happens. So he's hit the 9. The only problem now, he's hampered, but there's no way he should be missing this. This is just a little dink. I mean, this is just a breath of wind to knock the 2 in and do nothing with the cue ball other than just leave it there for the 13. Again, before he plays this 13, he needs to be thinking ahead before he moves. We've got a problem. The problem is getting out of there without running into stuff. But then, where is he going? He could try and dink out behind the 8 ball and get himself on the 9, but he's run into the 8. If he'd missed it clean, he would have had a better shot in the 9. He can still take the 9, but the angle on it has got him a wee bit worried. And now he doesn't want to be looking at that 12 up there. He doesn't want to be worrying about that. I think he's got to take the 9, but he's got to hold this cue ball for the 6. Problem is that 11 ball's bothering him as well, I think. And he's gone wrong again. So these are becoming all too familiar early on in this match, and they're causing severe damage to Bankster's hopes here. Well, you've hit the nail on the head, LS3. It's the same old story, you know. If you're not putting in the table time on a regular basis, you completely lose that touch. You've got to find a way to shot again. And if you're limited by, you know, work commitments and everything else, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to try your best. But he is really struggling. I mean, with those opportunities he's had, this match could be all square. Easily all square. But like I said, you know, Tommy's the one that's more likely to find his way out, given a chance in a rack, than Bankster is. Well, this is a bit ambitious. Well, he's played it well. It's going to be the combo. But I don't like that either. This is not pretty. He's overhit the cue ball. He wanted to be this sort of line rather than there. And there's no option but to try and cut this back onto the 10. And so Bankster has another chance. Now, of course, we've got 2 cribbage balls, or the 8 and the 7 in the kitchen, which are no good if he takes ball in hand. And having taken ball in hand, what I'd like to know is where is he going? Well, he's looking to roll the 6 in and roll through into the gap for the 9. And now again he's looking at something else. I don't know why he's messing about down here, because that's the only cribbage option he has at the moment. He's got to... And the 6 is out of the kitchen, so why is he not looking at running this 6 ball? Again, the reason he's now committed, but I think he's still worried about getting the pace right in this and rolling through far enough. And he's all right now. So now we have the 12 ball over the pocket, the 3 ball tied up, so that's no good. We've got the 11 up there where he is, but the 4's down here, and that's no good. Well, that's freed the 3. Now, I think he wants to go up and have a look at this pocket before he plays the shot, because that 12 is right in the pocket, and if he tries to dink a little bit of rail... Oh, he's played the 3 first. That's probably the sensible shot. But he's right in the pocket with this. Now, the other thing is, the 5 ball's awkward, even though the 10 ball's close to the pocket. The 8 ball goes, so he wants to try and get out and on that. And that little bump in the 4 will help. So he's got another easy cribbage here to get the rack done. And get his second rack on the board. So, Tommy's lead is 4 racks. At least I think it's 4. My eyes are going. No, it's 3. That looks like a 6. And Bankster's had a ball. Now wait a minute, what's happened here? The 11 ball's gone. And absolutely no joy. Trying to play the combo in the 4. So, well, what does he do here? We've got a 13 and 2 that isn't a problem. So the 13's right near the cue ball. We've got what looks like an easy 14-1. Sorry, no, that's not, because that's a 10. So we've got the 13-2. And in that case, then, the only other one I can see is a 7-8. What ball's that? Yeah, everything else, every other cribbage ball's tied up. So the only other set of balls that are out in the open, so to speak, are the 8 and the 7. No, it's going to be hard work here. What ball's that? The 12. Well, he's dead straight in the 3 he's got there. Oh, aye, it's Monday night Scottish doubles, isn't it? It starts at the top of the hour. There's Larry come online. He's looking for a partner. Well, that was a good little dink onto those balls just to hold for the 5. Maybe if he had, I don't know whether he can get into this enough to give these another bump. Yes, well, he's given them a bump, but not a big enough bump. This is a little tricky cut now. This it's not the cut that's the problem. It's holding for the 11, and he's fine. And now everything's looking rosy. And Tommy should be 6-2 in front. I'll probably take the 14-1 now and could take the 9-6. I mean, that's not a problem either. So this rack's finished. But Tommy's had his fair share of unforced errors as well in this match. It's just the fact that Bankster hasn't been able to capitalise on any of them. And well, Tommyy now has had 3 balls in the break. He needs the 13, the 12, and the 7 as the partner balls. And is that the 12 that's over the pocket? No, it's the 14. And 13 doesn't go. 12 doesn't go. I mean, well, it will go if you're forced into cutting it that way. And he's trying to cut the 7. So, it's a reprieve for Bankster. What can he make of this? Well, he's got an easy 11-4 from the point of view that they're smack bang next to one another, and he shouldn't have any trouble getting on either of them. We've got the easy 14-1. I think why I mean I think he maybe how many, there's nothing on the board. Does he want to be aggressive and no, well he's taking the 11-4. I think was he want to maybe try and be a wee bit aggressive and hope he gets a lucky roll and bump the one in and break those balls up, or does he just want to try and take what's there, and if anything happens then the hard work's going to be down to Tommyy. Well, having said that, he's went for the breakout. So remember, that's the 14, and he just needs to play the little combo and hold for the 1. Well, that's not a disaster. The 12 has gone in. Now he can just he's on the 3 right now, and he's fairly straight in the 1, so he should be fine. Again, he's more inclined to stick this Q-tip low in the ball when he's looking for the drop, rather than looking for the stun draw, the more controlled one. So now this will take him to his 3rd cribbage. So where's the 4th one coming? Well, he's got an easy 8 ball. As long as he gets an angle in this 8, he doesn't want to finish straight on it. What else is there? No, he's well. I mean, he could play the 7 and cut across for the 8. The only worry with that is he could run into the 13. See, this is going to have to be punched in because he's fairly straight in this 8 ball, and if he plays the 7, he wants to be hitting this a bit. He doesn't want to run into this 13. Well, he's hit the 13. He hasn't scratched, and so the 8 takes him to his 4th cribbage, and then he's going to have to do a little bit of work here. So the way it looks as if it's going to be the 2 into the side. Again, this cue ball looks as if it's tracking dangerously close to this 5. The angle, the potting angle he's taking, he's heading that way. It looks like it to me. He's missed it, just missed it, but he's not got there. And again, he doesn't want to fritter these away, these chances. And that's going to hang up. I just caught the point. And that's a chance gone again. And again, it's still down to positional shot, not getting on the spot. So Tommy's got all the work to do. He's decided ball in hand. And of course, he's got these 2 balls in the bottom rail here and the one that's hanging over the corner pocket. So the 13 will take care of the 1st cribbage. Now this is where it's obviously, I would say it's got to be the combo. That's a sensible shot, because obviously the 13 was going to go in, but he's sort of killing 2 birds with 1 stone there and bringing the 6 into play. Well, I think it's far easier to roll the 9 in, guarantee you're on the 6, than playing the 6 and trying to get good in the 9. You've got a wide open space to do that. This is the way I would play it. There's no way you can't be on the 6. Well, he would have grown into it a bit more there had he got himself in good shape on that 13 Bankster, but this is costing him another rack. There's 3 or 4 racks that Tommy's got are all been opportunities that Banksters gave up one way or another. And this is the painful part about this game. He's still got to pot this 15 and get on it again, remember? And he's going to be square. Well, it's still squarer than I would like it, but he should get this in. Just caught a little chip of the point there, but not enough to keep it out. And that cue ball thought about scratching there as well. And it's dry, and once again, Bankster's got a table that it looks reasonable enough. The problem is where the cue ball sat. Well, he's looking at rolling the 13 in, going to the left of that one and still having a shot in the 2. But once again, he's finished sort of no man's land, a bit awkward over the 1 and having to make the cut and having to watch the cue ball that he doesn't stun this and drop into the side pocket. He's got to take a wee bit of care here. I mean, I think if he just runs it in, he's got to go to the rail. He's not going to be getting in the pocket if he just lets it run in. And now he's got a 12-3. I think he wants to make sure he just stays away from the 9 ball. Well, he's nudged it away. Now, the next move is either, let's have a look at what line he's got in this 3 ball. I mean, we know the 7 and 8 are up there. Again, it's just awkward because there's sort of traffic in and around. He's found a gap. How's this bounce working out? Well, this is just a simple little dink. Let's have a look. If he dinks that in, he could finish about there and still have a reasonable enough cut in the 8 ball across the table. He looks as if he's coming back and holding it, and he's held it well. So he was confident enough to play that shot because that was the right one to get him into play there. He could have chickened out and went around on the shorter side where he wasn't risking doing anything with the cue ball. But he's now on his, well, that completes the 3rd cribbage. We've got an easy 6 and an easy 9 down the cushion for number 4. Now, the 4 ball's fine. The question is what he's going to do now. I mean, this angle on this, and it depends how hard he wants to hit it. Because if he hits it a nice firm stun, he can danger the pot might not go in, it might rattle, but he can get the cue ball out. Well, it's rattled and it's gone in, but he had to play it at that kind of pace to get in a better position to make life easier for himself on whatever he decides to do. If it's the 10, it's easy enough. He just needs to dink the 10 in, a little soft draw to straighten himself in the 5. He's looking at the 11, which means he's got to get control in the cue ball for the 4. And that's reasonably good. And this to get over the line and give him his third rack in the board. Well, he might just be taking a wee while to warm up. But he needs something to happen for him here in the break, and he's not getting it. He's not getting a sniff. Let's have a quick look while they're mulling over what's happening. Is this tournament dead in the water? Yes, it is. There's only one team in. There's only Slim and Hairpig in it, which is the sorry tale of most Monday night 9-ball Scotch doubles. That's what happens half the time. Scraping the barrel to try and get a second team in just to get a match. So, Tommyy leads by 7 racks to 3. Bankster's break dry. 9-ball down the bottom left hand side of the table. Now, what's he finished up in here? Well, whatever he has, he's got an awkward shot. And, well, he's obviously going to line the tip of the cue up better than that, but he can certainly get to the 13. And he's also got an 11-4 as well. The 11's here, 4 over the side. So he doesn't have to work any miracles with the cue ball to know that he should have another cribbage here to follow. Now another quick look around. We've got the 10 to follow, and then the 5 up table that way, not a problem. So again, you don't have to do anything, you just have to make sure, well, he's going a different direction. I'm not quite sure what he's played for here. Well, he's trying to spin across for the 8. I would have just kept it simple, get rid of the 10 and 5. Because you could have took the 8 ball and still come over for the 7. Now, so that takes him to his 3rd cribbage. Suddenly, well, I mean, he can cut the 1, but he's running into the 13, and he's got to hope that holds, and he's pretty much stuck to the rail here as well. And he's going to be leaving a little snick on this 14 ball unless he's doing something with the cue ball. And it's 13 for the 2. Yeah, that's a better idea. So this will get him on 4, and then really there's no excuse. Well, it's the big difference between Banks and Tommyy in the fact that over the piece, Tommy's the one that's more likely to find his way out because he's shaping the cue ball and control of the cue balls that bit better. And the gap's now going to go to 5. And again, well, as we've seen, other than Bedhead last night making a sort of a comeback. You need a lot of things to go your way to get yourself back in this match. So Tommyy breaks off in rack number 12, and again, well, last minute the other 2 ball has gone in. And the only problem with that is he's got a dodgy cut. Let's have a closer look at this. That's hard to say what happens with that 13, but I think it goes. Well, he's going to have to find out because he's got not a lot of other options available other than trying to make this as a cribbage ball. Well, it did go. He just didn't get the cut. Never easy. But it's another scenario here for Bankster. Whether he plays up there or whether he plays ball in hand. I mean, again, he's got an easy starter if he wants it. He's got the 8 ball and the 7 to follow. He's got the 11 and 4, which I would think that's what I'd be taking next after the 8 and 7 because it gives you better access. And of course, the other issue is the 10 ball blocks the one into this bottom pocket, and it also just gets in the way of you getting onto any of these other possible cribbage balls. We've got a 5 ball up the table, which is no good when the 10 ball's down here. I would have played in Monday Night 9 ball if I hadn't been doing this. I only come home this afternoon to find out this match was on, but I would have played in it because I've got no work tomorrow and it doesn't matter when it finished. Now Bankster's got himself in trouble again. He's hooked in the 4 and he's trying the ambitious combo, and then once again it's just not finding the shape, and it's a hard way to get found out, you know, when you're struggling to get control of that cue ball. This is the bare bones of it. If your game isn't allowing you to work that cue ball properly, you're going to just keep ending up in trouble. This is a bit, well, from Bankster's point of view, it's a bit like the first match of the tournament, which I think was Sylvia and Bankster, wasn't it? Let me have a look at the bracket, because that was torture to watch, because the both of them were at it, and that's why it took over 3.5 hours. Let's have a look. I can't remember. I'm sure it was Bankster. Where the hell is it on the bracket here? Yeah, it was. Bankster won that match. Sylvia won the match 15-13, but I mean, it was an absolute nightmare to watch. And that's why Steve got scared that the matches were going to be taking 3.5 hours. But we can see why that match took so long, because neither Sylvia nor Bankster could really find any decent level, and the racks ended up getting really locked up and messy and taking 20 minutes and more for a rack. Well, 3 goes clean enough. Tommyy on 3 cribbages, and then he has to work something out. And there's no cribbages on. Now the aggressive move obviously is to bang that 9 in and try and stun across into those balls and get a lucky roll. But he's got to dig into the cue ball, because this cue ball wants to miss them, I think, unless you get a bit of dig in it. I don't know whether a wee bit of right would help. We'll soon find out. Now you see it missed him on the way across, and that actually worked out fine. He was on the 6. So now Bankster comes to the table, trailing by 5 racks, and with a table that should be run out at this stage in the tournament. There shouldn't be any question of it. You should be running out. But, you know, it's just about Bankster nipping away and sealing the deal on these opportunities. And if he does that, there's no reason why he can't get back into it. But he's got to really warm up on his control of the cue ball. If he does that, then this match could turn. If he gets a roll of the ball, a wee bit of good luck and bad luck and all of the other things that come into play. How's he finished on the 2? See, he's now got to run the cue ball. Well, now see that there has left himself awkward. Now you've got to run the cue ball and let it run up to make your life a lot easier than this. And there we go again. I don't know why. He's obviously lacking the confidence. And an angle that he had in that 2 was not great to hold a good line in the 13. And that's a glaring opportunity thrown away there, because he just bottled out and letting the cue ball do its thing. You know, let it do its thing, and you can put a wee bit of spin on it just to track the cue ball on the right line off that short rail, and you've got to be on the 13. And he's trying to he's trying to change the laws of physics, Captain, as Scotty would say. Now, Tommy's in the same boat here. He's got himself awkward in the 15. But Tommy's a lot more comfortable on those type of shots. And it's 9-3, and it's another rack that's leaked away. What was... I think Cobra's already gone. Cobra was going out for a meal tonight, so he's probably left the building, but I can't remember what his prediction was. I don't know whether it was 13-5 or something like that. Can't remember. Somebody that's on YouTube or Twitch can probably scroll the chat and find what Cobra's prediction was. $13-4. Well, he's probably not. He's not going to be that far off that, I think. And Bankster got really lucky there. You know, he put the big draw on it, ran into a ball or balls there, and actually ended up on the 8 ball. But this again is a mess, which needs the touch of a surgeon to find your way out in this sort of table. Once again, he's just overhit it slightly. He would have been far better to finish short on that 3. Something like that, and that way he could get in and do a bit of damage. Now he's the wrong side of the 3 to do anything. He's got a 13-2 that, they're in the open. He's got that to fall back on here, but he would have much rather probably had finished the other side of this 3 ball to bump into those balls. And again, all you need to do is make the pot with the right pace, and the cue ball's coming back over for the 2. Now, what's this looking like? Well, this is just a little kill shot with maybe just a little bit of spin back. Actually, if he was confident enough, he would spin back far enough and then pot the 13 and run into them. You see, he stunned it, but it hasn't come back. You see, again, to execute the right shot, he would have stunned that with just a quarter tip below the equator of the cue ball, and he would have come back. And now he's running away again. This is doomed to failure when he's having to run the cue ball up and down and then just hope he gets lucky. It's painful to watch, but you've always got to be thinking on your toes here. This is what I talk about. Any player who wants to take their game to a higher level, it's not just about potting the ball and then leaving a shot in the next ball. It's about potting the ball. And with that shot there that I was talking about, had he been thinking right, he would have played that with a little stun draw, with a wee bit of pace, so that the cue ball just comes back to leave him that proper angle in the 13, I think it was. And he didn't, and he ended up having to play it where he had no line whatsoever to get into the balls. And it's another chance gone. But these are just fundamental things that take your game to that better level, where you're always thinking about not just the next ball, you're thinking about where you want the cue ball to be on that next ball to get you good on the next one. This is how you string things together. It's just, it sounds simple to tell people that, but it's probably amazing that a lot of players aren't taking themselves to that level half the time. The better players in the game do it all the time. They're switched on. They know what they're doing. But there's a lot of good players who, if they only just took that second and think, well, if I put this cue ball here on that 13 and I can come back and leave that angle, I can run into those balls, do some damage and win the rack probably. That's just a fine example of where Bankster just let himself fall short. Now you could give him an excuse to say, well, he didn't get the shot right. Well, he didn't play the shot right. That's what I'm saying. You need that little stun draw just to bring the cue ball back. 3 inches is all it needed, and he would have been fine. He would have been able to pot that ball with confidence, run into the balls, and he would have been unlucky if he didn't have another shot to make another cribbage. And now he's just hoping that. See, Tommy's on this one ball and he's going to get the little bump. And there's the difference. There's the difference there. He was on the ball, could get the little bump to free up the 4 ball. And this will probably go 2 rails and into the table, I believe, to try and take it into the same pocket, unless he tries to dink across into the corner. Well, you see, Tommyy there is at fault as well, because he's trying to be cute. He's trying to just drop through to play it into the side. And the simpler shot would have been to let it run 2 rails and come up into the table. And he had all that acreage to get the cue ball in. And he's given Bankster a lifeline. And that was just a wee bit too tentative there by Tommyy, just trying to be cute. And, well, we know what cuteness gets you in this game. You try to be touchy. It's just a sort of tentative way of playing the shot. You've got to play it with confidence and play to get yourself into that open area, which made the 4-ball far, far easier. So Bankster gets what Cobra thinks he's going to get for the match. He's on 4, still trailing by 5. He's had a ball in the break. He's landed nicely on the 12, and now he needs to stop and look. He needs to use these extensions here because there are cribbages to be made. He's got the 12 ball. He can easily just come back for the 7, and he's got 8 down here because there's no problem in getting the 7 and at least having a sight on the 8 ball. He's got the 9 up in the top short rail in a parallel line with the 12 right now, which he can take and get out for the 6. So there's good options here for him. And he's putting lots of bottom in the cue ball. It's all about the pace and what he's trying to do. Well, he's played it more of a stun. But again, he's got the angle on the 7. He's looking at holding a possible 10 for the 5 in the side, but he's got too much angle. See, that's not right. So now, with this angle on the 7, there's a danger of things going wrong here. And he just done the right thing. He just made sure he's got himself in the gap. Now, once again, he's playing this 8 ball, but what's he doing with the cue ball? Where's his next cribbage that he's playing for, I'm wondering. Maybe he's trying to get good in the 5 this time. Well, this is fine, because if you just stun the 5 in, this 14 ball should kill the pace. He's now trying to just play the little soft draw. That'll do. So after this, he's got, well, the 14-1, 14 into the side, just come back off it. 1 ball there, not a problem. This will take him to his 4th cribbage. And then after this, we're looking for the 5th one, which should be the 9 and the 6, I would think. I think he's maybe dead straight in this 1 ball. Yes, he is. He's poker straight. So he doesn't want to be fizzing this cue ball for no apparent reason. Now I'm not sure what he's done. He's got himself in trouble. So he's got to let it run off this 2 to come down for the 13, and he's pretty straight. Yeah, this is not a good line he's got here. Now he's looking at playing the 6 and hoping he's a shot in the 9. He's trying to roll it in gentle and hold it. And now he's got the winning ball for the final cribbage. It's always on a knife edge when Bankster's at the table, that he can just hold himself together and keep it together long enough to make these cribbages. He's got another one back though. Once again, when he needs that roll of the ball, it ain't happening. Look at the mess this table is. Well, this will be some rack to run out from Bankster's dry break. There is a 2-13, I think, to start off with. Let's have a look. Yep, 13 goes, so you can pot the 2, just come back out and you're on the 13. Then, and depending how he finishes on this 13, he could get the 9 and come up for the 6. What the heck? What ball was that he potted? What was it? It was a 6. No, what ball? I can't even see the bloody HUD. Was that the 13? No, it was a 9. Well, I'm getting all sorts of confusion here. Right, he's now in the... well, the angle he's got in the third... Well, he can still play the shot I thought he was going to play to start with. Pot the 2 and get the 13, but he wants to be coming this side of the 13. I think he wants to get himself high enough here. He's overcooked it. He's overcooked it by quite a way. I mean, he's ran over there by 6 inches, 7 inches too far, and obviously he's going to get a hit this time. But he's got to make the pot. Well, he played it gentle enough to make sure to get the pot. Now we've got a cut in the 12, which is a bit tricky. He's looking at the 7 to just roll into this gap. Now, how many cribbages is he on? He's on 2, so now what's down the table here is no good. So again, he wants to run through on this 7 ball so that that's fine. He hasn't gone too far, but he can now get a breakout here and nudge something. Right, to have a look at this chat. I've been neglecting to look at the chat, guys. Well, I think as I say, my golden rule is, I mean, it is easy to get your head scrambled because you're looking at balls and then sometimes things don't sink in. But, when you're potting a cribbage ball, you've obviously... you cannot pot that cribbage ball without being 100% sure of where you're putting the cue ball next. It's pointless. You can't just be... You don't pot cribbage balls just for the sake of it. You've got to be right on the spot and don't lose the focus and be sure of where you're going. Now that was a miss there by Tommyy, and once again though, Bankster has an opportunity, and these balls, to me this is a crucial ball straight away. If he can get this 13, get himself around the corner here, well, he's sort of just dinked it in to make sure he got it. And again, now, this 3 cuts on the side, the problem is where the cue ball's going. So he's bailing out by taking the 12 first. He's okay. Now, again, does he want to keep it simple and just roll this in and roll through to the rail? Well, he's digging into the cue ball. I think he's just maybe trying to kill it a wee bit. That's what I'm guessing. I might be totally wrong as usual, but yeah, he's just trying to get it as straight as he can now. He's got a straight choice. I think for his sake, he wants to just roll this in and be brave enough and roll through far enough to guarantee the cut and the 1 into the side. He doesn't want to be risking drawing the ball at that distance because it's unreliable. We'll see if we can dig it out. Well, he's got there. That was more the stun draw. That's a better shot straight away because you've got the pace in the shot, you've got the little tip quarter tip below, and you get the stun draw effect where it just rolls 2 or 3 inches back and getting you in a good line, or at least good enough. But now the big test. 3 cribbages all. He's got an angle on this 5 and he just wants to go straight around the corner forward, and he's got to come this line. It's all about pace. That needs to just keep going, and that's perfect as far as being on the 10 ball's concerned. His problem is he needs the 15 as well, and he needs a respot. Tell a lie, no he doesn't. He needs this one and then the 15, doesn't he? I'm losing track of the count here. That needs to just check up, and that's taken most of it off it. Well, he should be fine, as long as he doesn't just let the cue ball run loose. Well, it's another one back for Bankster. The mistake this time was Tommy's. And I think Bankster's now got himself a wee bit more focused that there's a job needing done here. I think he's now worked that out. And, you know, he's now got a ball in the break. The 1 ball. He's got half a chance in the 14. Tell a lie, it was wrong. I thought it was the one that was the 11 that's went in. And of course, knowing his luck, he can't see the 4. I thought it was the 1 that had went. And that's why I was saying he's got half a chance in the 14. So my eyes are going all over the place with this blue cloth and the colour of these balls, especially the stripe balls. The stripe balls are doing my head in. Good evening to Semi, and welcome to any other latecomers. Well, Tommy comes back to the table, and I think Tommy's now also realised that he's got to stay focused here, because he's leaked a couple of racks here. Well, I'm not 100% certain of where he's going to go next here, because that's the cribbage done. He's trying to drop right down onto this 7 ball. And he's got there. That was a tight little squeeze to get the cue ball in there. Well, it's got to be the 5-10. So, path of the cue ball high enough up the table to see the 10. Pace is fine. Now, is he going to start moving balls here? He ran into the 9. And I don't think that's done an awful lot of harm. I think the only worry would be things are just slightly awkward here. Like the angle he's got in the 9 is way too thin for cutting it in and going up table and holding for the 6, I think. He's got the 12 and trying to just drag around the corner here to leave himself a sight in the 3. That looks like the shot. Just drag this in and the pace gets killed so the cue ball doesn't leak away. Well, he's just trying to dink it in and hold it. It still works out. So that's now going to complete cribbage number 4. And does he want to be coming back and trying to get on the 9 to run down for the 6? Oh, he's taking the 4 up the rail. Nothing to do to get on the 11, obviously. Just doesn't want to catch that middle knuckle. And he's got it clean. So Tommy's back in focus. And this should take him to double figures. So that was a good response from Tommyy. Well, the breaking cribbage is far. I mean, it is crazy, the breaking cribbage, in terms of how you end up. I mean, you can end up potting 3 balls. We've seen it happen. Yeah, we saw people pot 3 balls in the break and have absolutely no shot in any of the cribbage balls, and we've seen it the other way. We saw 3 cribbage balls go, 3 balls go in the break, and the cribbage balls are all sitting open. But far too often we've seen a ball go and absolutely no shot. So it plays a huge, huge part in this game. You need an awful lot of luck. I mean, okay, when the table's open and the balls are there, you should be doing the right things and finding your way out. But the mishmash that goes on at the beginning of a rack is make or break. And I mean, last night's match with LS3 and Bedhead finally got a bit of a roll. And he needed it at the right time. He had to get something that was going to get him back into the match, and he ran 3 racks. The most desperate time when he needed him, got back to within 1 of LS3, but she held out. So now Tommyy on his second cribbage, and it's just going to be a little dink with whatever that ball is, the 10 or the 12. Oh, well, he's cut the 9. Again, I don't know why he didn't just dink that in and roll through, because anything could have happened there. Oh, now he's going to play the combo, which I think is the 12, isn't it? Yeah, it's a 12, so it's over the pocket. But the problem is, if he's playing the 12, he's got to play a good shot to go on this 3. And there's nothing else on. 14 is done by the fact the 1's locked up. He's playing the 2 and coming out for the 13, which is up there. Never noticed that one. That's there. Again, he's taking his time until he's happy to play the shot. So he can just push through and push that, if it's the 4 ball, push it away if he wants to try and take the 3 into the side. But it's going to be 11-4 instead. He could have just brushed through and had the 3 in the side and the 12 up table, but he's fine. I'm looking to see what else he'll need. He might well need the 5 or the 1. What else is there? There's still that 312, isn't there? So this takes him to 4. So the 312 takes him out. So it's all about getting good in the 3. And this shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Tommy's knuckled down at the right time. You know, he lost a couple of racks there that made Bankster's score look a wee bit more presentable, but in the meantime he screwed his head back on to try and get himself over this line, and he's within 2. Now I think that was the 11 that went in, and look at the 4 ball, and that's an easy start. He's also got the opportunity to leave the 9 where the 4 is and play the combo in is that the 13-6 down the rail? That's an easy enough combo. So he's looking good as far as that goes. He's also got a cut in the 12 where he can get the cue ball down for the 3 if he ends up here anytime. And once, well, the 9's gone in as well, so he's now committed to make the 6, but he's still sitting in good shape. But the cue ball's going to come back across, depending on the pace, and finish somewhere around about here probably. Oh, it's not gone. Well, Bankster breathes again, because this rack was almost over. Even at this early stage, had he got that, he had the 12 and 3 available. Well, I think Bankster can see the 12, can he? No, he can't. So, just a little drop in, 9 into the side. Now, where's he going to go next? He's still got that 12 and 3. I think he also wants to consider trying to deal with this 14 as well, getting that out of the way, because that's a blocker. That 14, it's a hindrance, that ball. He needs to get rid of that. And I think if I was Bankster, I'd be looking at just coming off this 3 and 15. And I thought that was what ball was that? His potty again. I'm so busy looking at the table. I thought the 3 was for a cribbage. That's what he's already got one. Right, so he's playing 13. I would definitely play to get rid of that 14. And I think it should be the 12-3 to follow, because again this ball's just causing problems. These balls are both just in hindrance areas that you don't want them. So this will take Bankster to 3, and with a slim chance of just sort of keeping in touch. I mean, he's still, even when he wins this, he's still going to be trailing before. It's a tall order. And he's still got to go over the line. Well, the little dink on the 12 ball, don't stick yourself in the rail, but you should be on the 3 no problem. And he's off the rail. And again, if you're just thinking ahead, I think you want to just brush through a wee bit to make sure you get a better line on this 5 ball if you're rolling the 5 in and dropping down for the 10. You don't want to just dink this in and stop here. You want to get, if anything, you want to get through that side to make your life a lot easier. And that's fine. That's perfect. Couldn't be any simpler than just a little roll in and a little roll through to the bottom rail, and you're home and dry in this rack. And now this is where Bankster needs things to happen for him, and he needs it to happen immediately on this break. And it's not a case of he needs a couple of balls in the break, he needs shots after the break. That's what he needs. We've seen it. It rarely happens. Well, he's got the 7 on the break. I don't know whether he got anything else. I'm sure he got the 7. Yeah, and now there's no way the 8 ball's going. So I'd just be creating a cluster here. I'd be just locking some balls up there as best as I could, or whatever. You know, pot a ball, get it in the line. That's the thing. You don't have a great deal of options in terms of keeping things safe. All you want to do is just pot a ball, get it into a line, and just and make Tommyy work for it. This is not pretty, this table either. So this rack's up in the air. There's a good bit of working out to be done here for Tommyy, first of all, because with ball in hand, there ain't a lot on. I mean, he can. Well, he's decided he's going to play over the 6 ball and play the 12. And he's trying to stun it in. I don't know whether that was the right idea. Well, it's a chance gone immediately. Well, like I say, the way these are set, you know, Bankster's not going to get a great deal out of this. And even he's hampered over the 13 to try and pot the 3, but he's looking like he's taken what would be the safe route to run around, but he's actually hit it and stunned it too straight. So difficult to try and pinch a bit when you're over that ball, because you're then putting maybe the spin on it. At the pace that he played it, you know, that would have killed anything that he played there, because he just went straight in after the ball. And I think he'll be glad he went straight in anyway and didn't really didn't set that cue ball running around the table there, because it might have bumped and opened things, but Tommy's going to have to bump and open things here if he's going to progress. And he's a bit straight as well. What's he thinking? Is he thinking to bump into the 8 and the 2 and hold for the 1? Or is he thinking to spin away out into the table and get the 1 in this side? It looks as if it's what he's doing. There's a cue ball going.
Trouble with Scott.
Where's the cue ball going?
That was the one I was looking for. Hit the wrong button again. Well, how much of a mess of a table do you want? This is like scrambled eggs. Look at it. Well, good luck to Bankster with this setup with ball in hand. Well, you know, that's trying to create a miracle shot there. And I think he can consider himself lucky he didn't do an awful lot more damage there, because he's not left Tommyy anything. I mean, he can cut the 3 and he can try and get lucky. But the odds in coming out good on anything here's fairly slim, so he's done the sensible thing. Just leave it up to Bankster. Well, this I think well, I missed Machine's other match, didn't I? Because they must have played that in the middle of the night. But he beat Ice Age 15 racks to 1. And I think we saw enough evidence in that first match when he played LS3 that he's not a mug. He's got a fair idea what he's doing. And I think he's got to be watched. And I think Cobra should be well aware of that. It's not going to be a walk in the park, I don't think. But most certainly don't think that. I think because you've got a guy here that's well capable of taking opportunities as and when they're there, and will work his way around to get himself out. He's got enough knowledge to be doing that. So when you've got a player of that level, then they're always a danger. And I just don't. I think when you've got capable players who, they've got a good standard of what they're about, I think this game and the luck involved in it on the break, there's an awful lot plays a big part in this, which I think actually favours players like LS3 and Machine. I think that, if you're capable enough and knowledgeable enough, and you don't fritter away all the opportunities you've had like Bankster's had, and you cut out these unforced errors when you've got balls to get in pockets and you can't get them there, then you're a danger to anybody at this stage in the tournament. There's, nothing's guaranteed. But by far, stats-wise, the player that's head and shoulders above everybody else is Albinario, and that's the standard you want to be getting to. And he's still online for his third major tournament in a row. But who's going to stop him? Well, Bankster again. It's not done any damage. I mean, there's nothing on other than just locking a ball up. And Tommy's looking around, but I don't think there's anything set in this layout here at the moment. But he's going heave-ho for the 2 ball, and he's came out pretty well on the 13. The 4 and the 8 both going out, and suddenly this rack is wide open. It's one of these little testy angles, but if he gets it, he should be looking reasonably good here now. Now, what ball's that that's over the corner again? What was it, the 11? So 11 and 4. I mean, he could stun right across, and he's drawn it a wee bit for the 14 because he's going to take the one into the side for the look of it, and then depending on how he drops this one into the side will determine how he finishes either on the 7 or on the 10 just to get through for the 5. So he should be on the hill. And in fact, this is all he needs. This is all he needs to get him there. just a 1 ball. So, Tommyy almost over the line. And don't forget that Tommyy, well, let's put it this way, Tommy's odds on he's going to win this. And he already knows who his next opponent is, because the winner of this match will play Stub. And, well, that'll be worth looking forward to. And then, of course, after that, they already know who they're playing in the next round, because Larry's sitting there waiting. Well, Tommyy has come up dry. Bankster's potted before. The yawning started already, and it's not even 8 o'clock. Well, this is last chance saloon from now on now. There's no looking back. And I don't think there should be really any holding back. There's no point in playing defensive here. This is all out, all guns blazing, dying with your boots on, basically. Go down fighting. I would narrow those odds in a fair bit. LS3 for you and Tommyy. I swear to God, you're going way on the odds there. I think it's a lot closer than you think yourself, because you know what scenarios can happen and the way these balls roll and how the break goes. And just think of you look at this match and you think of the opportunities that Bankster's had, where the basic problems being the run of the cue ball and the control of it. You think of the opportunities you could have taken there in this match tonight. This match would have been a lot closer. I mean, you could certainly say there's at least 5 racks have gone south from Bankster because he couldn't get the job done. And, you could be sitting here hill right now. So Bankster now, well, he's on his final cribbage to survive another rack. But how's he going to get it? That's the question. And he knows that if he can't get another ball in a hole and get some sort of shot somewhere, this match is over. And looking at the way it's sitting here, it's a pretty hopeless affair unless he can squeeze this 1 ball in somewhere. Is it going to hold the line? Yes. Well, I'm glad that went in. Where am I? Wrong button, hang on. Well, he survived another rack to get that score a wee bit more respectable. And like I say, I don't think there should be any holding back now. He might as well just go for it. Throw caution to the wind. Let the mouse go loose. And just go for the hell of it. So, 13-2 is an easy start. But he wants to be thinking about trying to get in this little gap here to get on that 4 ball, because he wants the 4 ball out of the way, or that'll do. That's fine. You need to get rid of that 4 ball because you're guaranteed to have a shot in the 11 unless you do something stupid. He's looking at 9-6. He should be doing that one, because this is blocking the 8 ball when you've got the 7 ball wide open. And again, he's gone. I don't know, can he miss that 14? Well, You've got to get rid of that 4 because you have a cribbage there to be made. Should he need it. And he knows he's going to be in the 11. Now this 11 ball, once again, he's got to decide whether he's going to stun it in and hold for the 8, nudge it in and then play the 7, or play the 12-3. Well, the way he's finished is neither here nor there in either of them, so he's got to take the 3. And this is just a little dink in. I mean, he could stop it or he could come back a wee bit if he wants to take it up table. Yeah, this is just a gentle roll in. Now, he can't be all that aggressive. I mean, he can push it in with a wee bit of spin, which I think he's doing. He's got a touch of right on it to come this way. You've got to make sure of the pot, though. And he doesn't want to go behind a 5. Well, that's scuppered that plan. So now it's going to be the 7 and then the 8. Now, what's he looking at the 1 ball for? Well, I think the pace is fine. He's okay. I wouldn't have played that. So this will get him over the line and survive another rack. I'll tell a lie, it's Tommyy. Somebody tell me it was the wrong player at the table. I'm so busy looking at the bloody cribbages I'm forgetting about who's playing. Anyway, the bad news is that Tommyy has made it as far as Bankster's concerned, but there's at least 5 racks there that are Banksters. At least 5 of them. Had he been on the ball and warmed up. He actually warmed up a bit in the middle of the match, but he leaked too many early on, which cost him. And in the end, it wasn't as big a difference as it could have been if only he'd just warmed up and had a bit of practice before he started, found his way to shot. So now we know Tommyy is through to play Stubb, and I wonder what messing about is going to be going on there. Well, the problem will be the fact that Stubb is at least 6 hours behind Tommyy. If Tommyy is in Germany, that's the problem. The time zone difference. It could be 9 hours, but I'm pretty certain it's 6 hours difference roughly between the two. So that could cause an issue, but I can guarantee it's not going to be 3 o'clock in the morning unless Tommyy has a brain fart and agrees to that. But it's going to be a little longer wait for Larry before he gets to play again. So looking at the main page, the only match outstanding that has been arranged is the next one on the winner's side between Cobra and Machine, and that's scheduled for Friday night at 7 o'clock at the same time as Friday night 9 ball. So I'll definitely be there for that, and I hope you can join us, and I hope I can stay awake. Well done, Tommyy. You were just that bit better than Bankster. Bankster was just struggling for shape because you gave him chances, but he just couldn't get it there. He could have pinched another 4 racks off you. I mean, I've been conservative saying that he could have pinched another 4 racks off of you if he had got his act together. But when you're not getting that consistency, you're not going to stay much longer in the tournament. But good luck against Stubb. Good luck getting the match sorted as well when that comes around. And you know what? If you were listening to the stream last night, you know what Steve says. Get your proposals in ASAP, and that way the onus is on Stubb to deal with it. You don't have to worry. If you get the proposal in and he faffs about, he's the one that's going to get forfeited if he messes about. So that's my advice. Get that done, and then you don't need to worry. Okay, guys. I'm going to, believe it or not, I'm going for my dinner now. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Take care, and we will see you again soon. Hopefully on Friday. Remember, if you can't be there and you're thinking, oh, I would have loved to have seen the match, well, go to YouTube, go to my channel, and just look at the tabs, and you'll see playlists. And when you click in the playlist, you'll see the playlist for this tournament, because this match, as soon as I'm finished, is going to get added to it. So you can pick out any match that you missed, and you can watch it. It'd be well worth watching that LS3 match last night if you missed it. The one between LS3 and Bedhead, that's worth watching. And hopefully there'll be a few more, because it's getting to that stage in the tournament where they're all going to be well worth watching. But don't worry if you miss them. I'll have them there for you as long as I can get them. I think this tournament's a bit more open than people think, provided those involved stay focused on the job in hand. There's my tactical advice. Right, guys, that's it. See you later, and thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.
Good night, ladies.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
We don't make mistakes here. We just have happy accidents.